Welcome to this week's Contrarian Coding News. The prevailing paradigm for testing advanced large language models like GPT-5 largely centers on evaluating isolated performance metrics, such as benchmark scores for factual accuracy, reasoning, and coherence, alongside red teaming for immediate safety concerns like bias or harmful outputs. While these methods are crucial, a truly disruptive, unorthodox, and rebellious contrarian viewpoint posits that such approaches are fundamentally insufficient. Instead, the most critical tests for GPT-5 should shift from static, decontextualized analyses to meticulously observing and analyzing its emergent systemic behaviors within complex human-AI ecosystems and its long-term, subtle epistemic and narrative impact on human cognition and societal structures. This contrarian perspective fundamentally critiques the mainstream view for its narrow scope and failure to address the profound, unpredictable consequences of integrating ultra-powerful AI into dynamic, real-world environments. Argument 1. The futility of isolated benchmarking in predicting emergent behaviors. The current emphasis on benchmarks and unit-level functional testing, where an LLM's response to a given input is evaluated against predefined criteria, treats GPT-5 as a standalone, predictable artifact. This is akin to assessing the seaworthiness of a ship by only examining its individual components in a dry dock, rather than observing its behavior in a storm or during complex maneuvers with other vessels. Counterintuitive insight. The most significant failures or risks of GPT-5 may not stem from a single identifiable error or a direct harmful output, but from complex, unpredictable emergent behaviors that arise only when the model interacts within larger, adaptive systems over time. These behaviors are not explicitly programmed and cannot be fully predicted by testing individual components. For example, a large language model like GPT-4 unexpectedly gained the ability to solve novel logic puzzles or explain jokes, demonstrating how capabilities can emerge as complexity increases. Alternative paradigm. Ecological AI testing. A disruptive approach would involve ecological AI testing, where GPT-5 prototypes are deployed within sophisticated, long-duration simulations of human-AI social systems, economic markets, or information environments. This is akin to system integration testing on an unprecedented scale. The focus would be on tracking system-level metrics, such as information flow dynamics, collective decision-making patterns, the stability of consensus, or the emergence of novel biases and vulnerabilities over extended periods. This mirrors how complex adaptive systems like financial networks or climate models are rigorously tested through extensive simulations to understand emergent, nonlinear interactions. The goal is to move beyond mere input-output evaluations, which can only provide a lower bound on potential risks, towards understanding the system's worst-case behavior under complex, interactive conditions. Argument 2. Overlooking GPT-5's epistemic and narrative control. Traditional safety testing primarily focuses on preventing explicit harmful content, factual inaccuracies, or direct biases. However, a far more insidious and under-the-radar threat lies in GPT-5's subtle, long-term influence on human cognition, belief systems, and collective narratives. Counterintuitive insight. The true danger of an advanced LLM like GPT-5 isn't just that it might generate a hallucination or a toxic response, but that its pervasive presence could gradually erode critical thinking skills, homogenize thought, or reinforce harmful societal narratives by subtly shaping how humans acquire, process, and validate information. As LLMs become integrated into daily information consumption, they become a primary interface for knowledge, challenging our very understanding of what constitutes knowledge and how it is acquired. Niche approach. Epistemic resilience testing. This rebellious testing methodology would involve controlled, long-term studies with human or highly sophisticated simulated human interacting with GPT-5. Researchers would meticulously observe and quantify shifts in users' critical thinking abilities, their susceptibility to plausible but misleading narratives, their capacity for independent thought, or the formation of echo chambers. This goes beyond content moderation to scrutinize the epistemological consequences of human LLM interaction. The concern is that if humans outsource reflective knowledge to reliable LLM information, it could erode their own reflective standards of justification, reducing their ability to perform epistemic duties professionally and civically. Drawing from historical patterns, the advent of mass media and later social media algorithms demonstrated how information systems can subtly reshape collective consciousness and create filter bubbles, even without explicit malicious intent. The test here is not merely of the AI's output, but of the evolving human-AI symbiosis and its capacity to maintain intellectual diversity and resilience against subtle, systemic influence. In conclusion, a truly disruptive approach to testing GPT-5 demands a radical shift in perspective. It requires moving beyond isolated performance metrics to embrace ecological AI testing for emergent systemic behaviors and epistemic resilience testing for its profound, often imperceptible influence on human thought and societal narratives. This contrarian viewpoint acknowledges that the most critical vulnerabilities of advanced AI may lie not in what it does, but in what it becomes within the intricate web of human interaction. And that wraps up another edition of Contrarian Coding News, where the status quo is always up for debate.